anyone that this is their first session? Anybody not been here before? Okay, well, welcome, welcome. And you will definitely be able to pick up right in the middle here, so it's not a problem whatsoever. Just to refresh you, my name is Amy Parton. You guys can just call me Amy. I work for GreenPath Debt Solutions. We're headquartered over in Farmington Hills. We're counselors. We talk to people about budgeting and saving and credit and housing, that kind of thing. So that's where I come from, and I'm excited to be a part of this because, as I have mentioned to you before, a lot of times when we're talking to folks and they come to see us for our counseling, they're in some kind of trouble. Oh, financially, they want to make sure that what they do from here forward is in their best interest. So it's fun for me to come out into the community and see you all proactively kind of giving you a better foundation, because let's face it, this stuff is not usually taught in schools, is it? No, right. Okay, so that being said, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk a little bit about setting financial goals. This workshop is based on the FDIC Money Smart for Young Adults curriculum. FINRA, we are also using some FINRA material, and you'll see we also have an activity that was developed by University, I think, of Missouri or Utah, anyway. And so we're kind of picking from all different sources for today's lesson. That being said, what we're going to try and do, our objective today, is to be able to track daily spending habits, prepare a personal spending plan, also known as a budget, identify ways to decrease spending or increase income, and then finally identify some budgeting tools that'll help manage money. There are all kinds of tools to help people figure out their plan. We're gonna hit on a couple today, and through the other courses, we're also going to bring in some other methods as well. Anyone have any questions? Wonderful. Let's move forward then. Okay, we've got Jasmine and Todd. Who wants to? Oh, in front of you, there is a booklet that you can follow along with. And we've got our buddies here to make a budget or not make a budget. Who wants to be Jasmine? Awesome. Who wants to be Todd? Come on, guys. Who wants to be Todd? You going to talk really low? Oh, okay, cool. All right. Share with us this. Jasmine, you want to start it? Or Todd starts it, sorry.
Man, I ran out of money again. I can't go get a pizza with you.
You should make a budget. You can see where you spend it all and maybe save some.
I can't even make a bowl of cereal. How am I supposed to make a budget?
Okay, there you go. The point is, you know, a lot of times as adults, we don't make a budget or a spending plan for many, many reasons. One of them is we have a perception that it's hard and it takes some time. So you don't want to. But what happens if you don't make a budget? You fail in life. Okay, boy, you are awesome. No. Well, let's back up a little bit. Maybe you're not spending the money in which you would like to, or maybe the way you're spending your money is not in line with your goals, or maybe you're living beyond your means. There are all kinds of consequences for not developing a plan for how you're going to use your money. And trust me, they're not good consequences. A lot of times that's the folks that we see as counselors. That being said, what's a budget? Anybody? What's a budget? Yeah.
Choosing how to use your money.
Awesome. Absolutely. It's just it's a plan, and you're making choices about how you're going to spend your money. Right on. So it is an important step to financial security to have a budget in place, and it is all about choices, isn't it? Initially, when you are a young adult or a teen, the idea with a budget, most of the time you're really just focusing on saving and spending. How much am I going to save? How much am I going to spend? What am I going to spend it on? Right? As you grow a little older and start maybe with a full-time job, another piece of that equation will come in, and that's about investing. We talked about investing last time. What's the big deal? Why invest? Why do you want to invest your money? I'm talking stocks, bonds, mutual funds. Remember this? Why would we want to do that? Do you remember what investments do? Yeah. Do you remember what investments do? Helps you grow your money, so your money works for you, right? You don't have to earn it. You invest it, and it will start earning interest, right? Okay, so that being said, preparing a budget. Okay, so again, we talked about that we're choosing how to use money. We want to know what our income and expenses are. That's really what it's all about. When you're looking for a spending plan, it makes sense that you want to know how much you have to work with and then what you want to spend it on, right? Those expenses and goals come into that as well. There are 4 steps when you're looking at developing a budget or a spending plan. The first one is to keep track of your daily spending. What do you spend your money on? The next one is determining your monthly income and expenses when they're due, before they're due. Decreasing spending may be part of your plan, and increasing your income. All right? All right. So, keeping track of daily spending. Many people spend all of their money, right? They just, does that happen to you? So here's the idea. Have you ever had money and then spent it? Yeah, I'm thinking. So think about like gifts that you've received, whether it's for holidays or your birthday or whatever, all right? And then do you remember what you spent it all on? Think about that, yeah. Books. Yeah, you're a book person, aren't you? Good for you. The point is here, when you really pay attention to how you spend your money, you can what? You can get control of your money, and that's the point of a budget as well. So your bills aren't running your life, you're running your financial life. Okay, so it's a different perspective. So you want to know where your money's going, and you want to keep what's called a daily spending diary, or it's called tracking your expenses as well. Okay, so where did we spend our money? You know what I think, are you guys on about page 9 in your book? You want to see where you are? It really doesn't matter. Flip see if you can, maybe on the back, there's a clean piece of paper. We're going to do something now. And you're going to need to use that clean piece of paper, okay? So as far as where do we spend money, I was just talking about tracking the expenses, right? So I want you to listen to a scenario that I have for you, okay? So here's the deal. Imagine that you go to the mall with $50. You get pizza and a soda in the food court, and then you go to a movie. You stop in the t-shirt shop where you buy 2 new shirts on sale, and then you head next door to the music store for a 3-for-1 sale on CDs, and that's where you're going to buy 6 CDs. You buy a new sketchbook at the art shop and some new color pencils. Then head over to the card store to buy a birthday card for your friend in another town. You and your friends feel like getting a snack, so you go to the ice cream store for some ice cream cones. There's a great pair of sneakers on sale at the sports outlet, so you buy them and decide to wear them that same day. Soon it's time to go home, and since you're tired from walking all day, you and your friends decide to take the bus home. The ride costs $1.50, but you dig in your pockets and only find that you have $1.10. How did that happen? Where did all your money go? Okay, I'm only reading that once. So now on that blank blank sheet of paper, probably on the back you might have. Jot down where, what was his name, Todd? Jot down where Todd spent his money. We don't know how much, but jot down where he spent his money. Give you about a minute to do that. What's your name? Ethan? All right, Ethan here is going to help us out. He's going to write down, we're going to kind of all pull our memory and write down where we spent or where Todd spent his money, okay? So let's go, where did Todd spend his money? Someone remember one place? Yeah. Pizza. Thank you. Another one? Yes. Ice cream. Sure. Soda. Well, oh, he's fast. In the back? T-shirts. Yeah. Sneakers. Yeah? CDs. That's right, there was a 3-for-1 sale, right? Oh, birthday card. Oh, you guys are getting quite a few of them, yeah. A sketch pad. SKETCH, right? Yeah. Wonderful. Colored pencils. You did fantastic. You did fantastic. I think we got them all. Let me ask you something. Aside from this list here, thank you, Ethan. I appreciate it very much. Aside from this list here, how many of you thought up 4 things? How many had 4 things on their list? Good. 5? 5 or more? 6 or more? 7 or more? Raise your hand high if you remembered on your own 7 or more. That's really pretty good. Look around, everybody. How about 8 or more? 9 or more? Anybody get them all? Wonderful. Okay, guys, you got them all, and here they are. The purpose of that exercise is, okay, so I just read that to you not even 5 minutes ago, right? And only one person could tell me where all that money went. You can imagine if you were going through the day and stopping at these different places, unless you had some kind of receipt or wrote it down, you would have a hard time remembering where all that money went, wouldn't you? You would. And think about if you didn't do it every day. Say you went back a week later and tried to write it down. Do you see how that can be a problem if you're trying to control your money? Right? We had a hard time remembering something 5 minutes in the past. Think about 5 days in the past or a month in the past. All right, so you guys did great. You got them all. So in your participant guide, there is a daily spending diary. Let me see if I can give you that page number. It's in the back in your activities. 21, that sounds right. Yes, 21, thank you. So take a look at that guide. This is something for you to do on your own, all right? So if you go out to the mall or something like that, use that as a guide and see if you can track where your money is going. And if you really want to have fun, go home and challenge your parents to do the same thing, okay? Maybe even, you know, after a week, you and your parents can sit back down and go through and say, hey, where does our money go? All right, it's quite an eye-opening experience. If you know, as an adult, when I'm paying my bills and I'm going to the grocery store, I tell you what, I talk to adults every day. We do workshops. I help facilitate workshops, and they'll have an exercise like this, and they come back a week later shocked. shocked at how they spent their money, not really even realizing it. So, this is just a little chart that you can, again, use on your own. And if you really want to have some fun, challenge your folks to do it. As far as setting goals, it's really important to know where your money's going so that you can set some goals. Why would you want to set goals? Why do we set goals, guys? Sure.
To help accomplish a task.
Right. Other ideas? Kind of keeps you focused, doesn't it? Yeah. Pushes yourself. It gives you something to go for. Oh, what's that old saying? If you don't know where you're going, you're never going to get there. Right? So that's about goals. A couple of tips about setting goals, though. You want to make sure that your goal is realistic. You want to make sure it's specific. It has some kind of a time frame on it. And so you want to also, in your goal, say what you're going to do to accomplish the goal. So have some kind of an action toward it. All right? So goals help us stay focused, give us some kind of, it can be an incentive to reach a little further, can it? And it helps us measure our progress as well. You guys ever heard of SMART goals? Yeah, okay, so I know that's taught a lot in school, and you do want to keep that in mind. What does SMART stand for?
It stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely.
Yes. Did you guys get that? SMART, S-M-A-R-T. SMART is specific. A is attainable. R is realistic, reasonable.
M is measurable.
Thank you, I forgot the M.
A is attainable.
And T is, yeah, exactly. So there's all different kinds of models for setting goals, but the point is this, that you do want to be realistic, specific, and it needs to be measurable. Okay, so that being said, how do you set good financial goals? All right. How do you? And we talked about why we want to, didn't we? We talked about that it helps keep us focused and it may push us a little more. As far as financial goals, it can really be quite easy if you have a framework, if you have a simple chart to help you. And I'm passing out a simple chart right now. If you would just take one and pass it, that would be wonderful. If you would take one and pass it. And go ahead and take one and pass it. This is one of the easiest charts you're ever going to see, but it can be a very powerful chart. And by the way, this is the chart that we use with adults. All right? So it's about goal setting. All right? So the first column on this chart, what does the first column say? What's the first column?
Goal.
Goal. So that's where you would name your goal. All right? Say we want to what? We want to buy a car. How's that sound? Cool? Cool. What is the next column?
Short, mid, or long term?
Short, mid, or long term. Thank you for covering your mouth. Short, mid, or long. The reason that at GreenPath we encourage people to set short, mid, and long-term goals is this. If a person is living with only short-term goals, it really does limit their progress. We say short-term is any 12 months and under. Midterm would be like 12 months to 5 years, and anything long-term would be 5 years or longer. So the idea of identifying is this a short, mid, or long-term goal is so that there's some balance in a person's life. If all of their goals are mid-term, or I'm sorry, short-term, well, what's going to happen 5 or 10 years down the road? They're not aiming for anything, right? If everything is a long-term goal, they're probably not enjoying the here and now. And life, when it comes to your money, is about a balance, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. Okay, so for our purposes, we want a car, and we want it yesterday, right? So let's go ahead and we'll put that as a short-term goal, okay? What's the next column on our chart? Total amount needed. All right. So here's where you need to get specific, right? So total amount need, because how you know, are you going to get a Civic or are you going to get a Mercedes? Are you going to get a Honda or a Mercedes, right? Because there's a huge difference there.
If that's not a rhetorical question, then I'm saying Mercedes.
Okay, right? Okay, well, but realistically now, let's think about that. So a Mercedes, that can range in price anywhere from what, $30,000 to about $200,000, something like that, right? Maybe the Civic would be better for us with part-time jobs or whatever and young, okay? So whatever. So let's just go with our Honda Civic or our Ford Focus or something along those, something that's a little more reasonable. So you get to put whatever kind of car you want, okay, on there. What's the next column say after total amount needed? Number of months. What do you think? Maybe a year? A year? Let's put 12 months. By the way, how much are you going to put towards that Ford Focus or Honda Civic or whatever? In our example, what I want to do is say that, okay, we're going to get this new car and we're going to put $5,000 down for our down payment, and then we're going to finance the rest of it. All right? So under that total amount needed, you put what kind of car and put in parentheses $5,000 because that's your down payment. What's that last column say?
Can I have a sheet, please?
Oh, yeah. Are there extra goal setting sheets? I think we have some back there. He's up here. These guys up here. Okay, what's the last column say?
Amount to save each month.
Amount to save each month. Well, we're down to math now, right? So we have $5,000. We want it in 12 months. So if we do the math, that's going to be about $66 and some cents. 406. So go ahead and put 466.666666, whatever, 67 cents. Okay. So now we need to test this. Is this a specific goal? Is it specific on what you need to do?
Not completely.
$466 isn't completely specific?
I mean, not to how you're going to save.
Okay, right. Okay, well, hold that thought. But it's pretty specific. Is it measurable? Sure, you just look in your bank account to see how much you have saved, right? Specific, measurable. Is there a time frame put on this? This isn't for the rest of your life, right? This is for 12 months. So far, it's passing all of these characteristics of a good goal. What about really realistic? Remember that tip for a good goal had be realistic? $466 at your stage of life. Is that realistic?
I'm not sure because I'm not completely sure. So at the beginning of the example, you said that this car was for someone who worked part-time.
Yes.
So how much does a part-time person normally make?
Okay, well, I could go ahead, say it.
Well, I mean, I don't work part-time, but some of my friends do, and they don't make $467 a month.
Yeah. No. So $466 a month. So our example was that we want to buy a car, and we want a new car, by the way. We want a car, right? It's a short-term goal. We want it yesterday. We are going to put $5,000 down. We are working part-time. For 12 months means we need $466. And I can tell you that so really quickly, if I were going to do some math here, say you had awesome job. Awesome, awesome, awesome job. And you are making $10 an hour. And by the way, that's really good for a part-time job. Really good. Okay? Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about this later, but that's your gross income. Your take-home pay would probably be somewhere around $8.50, $9. Let's give you the benefit of that. You're taking home maybe $9 an hour. Okay? 10 hours a week. 10 hours a week, so a couple hours after school for 5 days. So, $9 take home, 10 hours a week is $90 a week. Everybody with me? So you're taking home $90 a week. And by the way, if you're working part-time, that's pretty good, isn't it? Absolutely. 9 times 4 for 4 weeks. $360. 466. Is this realistic? Okay, no, it's not. It really isn't. What do you do, guys? What do you do when you hit a roadblock? What do you do when you hit a goal and you know it's not happening? When you set a goal, it's not going to happen. Go ahead.
You change it to like add more time or like lower your down payment or whatever.
Good. You just gave 2 fantastic strategies. You can extend your time so that instead of 1 year, you're looking at 2 years, right? So if we do the math and stretch it out to 24 months, now we're looking at, what, $220 about? Okay, well, that's a little more realistic from 360, isn't it? You could also, you said lower that down payment. So instead of $5,000 down, what if you did $2,500 down? For 12 months, now you're back to $220 again. Does that make sense? So the reason that you want to set goals, remember, is to stay focused, to stay on track, and give you something to reach for. It can also help you modify behavior as far as spending goes. But if you go through and look at this little simple chart and you run the numbers, that's where you can really see if that goal is realistic. Can you see how that can help? Take this with you into adulthood. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, I hope that you kind of get the idea of writing things down and being systematic about how you're thinking about goals. Okay?
Who drew the picture?
Hmm?
Who drew the picture?
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It's just a picture that was online. Okay. All right, so remember what we're trying to do here, guys. We are talking about steps to building a budget, right? And so the first was like to track your expenses and know where your money is going. The second was determining your income. So income comes from all different places. Where does income come from? How do you earn money? Job. How else? What? Gifts. Ian? Yeah.
Selling things?
Selling what?
Maybe things that you thought you needed, but now you don't need it.
Like a garage sale kind of thing? Sure.
Or like
A bake sale, making something, even, if you crafted, you could sell some of that or bake. Sure.
making your own business.
Yes, absolutely. Like cutting lawns, babysitting. Yeah.
And then also like allowances.
Allowances, thank you. Absolutely, you guys. So where does it come from? Allowances. Wages from a job, someone said that. Miscellaneous work or starting your own business, right? Cutting grass or babysitting. The other idea, absolutely sell stuff and maybe do a bake sale. And of course, we're going to bring in here interest from dividends and investments. All right. Remember that right now you're probably most concerned with how you're spending your money and how you're going to earn save and spend. But as you grow older, you're going to want to also take a look at your investments. So you can make money through investments as well. It's usually, yes.
Okay, so one time my social studies teacher was telling me that when you're young, you can do that stuff like mowing lawns and cutting grasses, babysitting and stuff. But then once you grow older, you can't do it anymore without like a license.
Oh, if you actually did like a business, like that gentleman out there that's cutting the lawn for the library, he's doing a business because there's taxes associated that he would have to pay as owning a business. So as a under 18 doing some odd jobs on the side, that's not a big issue, but if you turn it into a business, it can be. You do need to get licensed and things like that.
Okay, and then also one of my friends just working for one of his friends' dad's businesses, but not like officially, just kind of helping out.
Okay.
And then he gets paid for it. And then my teacher was saying, well, isn't that illegal? Is it?
Well, okay, I'm not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV. But here's one of the problems with that. When someone is being paid on the side, off the record, right, it's called being paid under the table. Why would someone do that? Because it's cheaper for the employer, because the employer doesn't have to withhold taxes on that income. You're not on the record. And it's also cheaper for the individual, or they can make more money because they don't have to pay income tax on that. So it's not the way to go.
Okay.
Okay? It's not the way to go. That being said, when you're looking at budgeting, it's the expenses that kind of trip us up. You know, we could list our income sources pretty easily, but the expenses are a little more difficult to pin down, all right? So let's take a look at that. So as far as expenses and items that you could pay for each month, you might have a housing cost like a rent, or if you had a house or lived on campus, there's costs associated with the roof over your head, right? A car payment, our Focus or Honda Civic or whatever we decided to do. We would want to insure what we have, whether it's our belongings, as in renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance. If it's an automobile, we would want to insure it. Why do we have insurance, by the way? Yeah.
Just in case something happens to it, you don't lose all your money.
You don't lose all your money, and why else?
In case like a natural disaster happens, like your car just gets crushed, then you don't have to like pay for it. Get another one.
That's it. You don't have to. You're getting some money so that you can replace the item you insured, and it doesn't cause hardship, financial hardship. So insurance protects you. It protects what what you have. That's the purpose of it. Okay. Food and clothing. Absolutely, we have to pay for that, don't we? And then, of course, our utility bills, you know, the lights, the heat in the winter, the cool in the summer, clean water, the utilities, personal, child, or pet care. So what we're talking about here is like, personal might be things like shampoos or just personal items. You might have to pay for some child care, or to take food for your cat or your dog or whatever you have, right? So those are some expenses. Maybe eating out or other entertainment, going over to the mall, getting getting the soda or the ice cream cone like old Todd. And then you might have some education costs. Maybe you're buying books and you just keep buying those books. So that's some examples of some expenses that folks can have. That being said, we're going to do an activity. Uh-oh, what's that? No, we don't have to leave, right? Okay. All right. So, can I have some help? Okay. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You know what? This is perfect. We're going to count off by threes. Could I start with you, please?
1, 2, 3.
1,
3?
2.
1.
You guys are not going to participate? You might want to observe, but 1? No, okay. All right, so we're in groups, right? We are in groups. So what I would like is for all of my 1s to be here, all of my 2s to be here, all of my 3s there. Oh, actually, you know what? We can do 1, 2, 3. Let's do it with the rows. I think that'll be easier. Yeah, so 1s, 2s are in the middle, 3s are in the back. Let's see how we did. I might be able to break it down a little bit more, so I just kind of want to see what we're looking at here, how many folks we've got.
See, Faith wanted you to sit next to me.
Ah, that's wonderful. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Are you a 1? 7. All right. You know what? I can split you all apart one more time. So we've got 3 and 4. If you ladies would move down here, you guys are on your own. How many do you have in your 2s? 8. Okay, we're going to split. You're going to go 4 and 4. So 4 of you go over here and 4 of you go over there. My back row, how many do you have? 8? Great. 4 and 4 again, please. We're going to do the bean game. Anybody ever heard of it? It does involve jelly beans. So you're 1A, you're 1B. Okay, and we've got 2A and 2B. 2B, get it? 2B or not? Yeah. Okay.
Wait, did you say to be or not?
Do you have 2 sheets? Yeah. And then we've got 3A and 3B hopefully here. You guys want to separate because you don't want your A or B to get on it, to hear what you're doing, okay? So if you guys would move down, leave a couple of spaces there. All right. All right. Can I get your help to pass out some beans? Before you is a list of different kind of expenses. For each group, if you'd give them a bag of the jelly beans that are right over there. Okay, there is a list of different types of expenses. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think, you know what?
I'll take your.
You know what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why don't you stay with them? And you guys are 4s, okay? All right, so this is called the bean game. And let me give you some instructions on it. All right, so you have 20 beans. What you're to decide to do with your group is how you're going to spend your beans. Okay? So, on your list, you're going to see some categories of expenses that have gold stars. Those are needs. You have to choose one in the box with the gold star. All right? The rest of them, you can decide within your group how you're going to spend your beans. Are there any questions?
Can you choose more than 1 gold star?
You have to choose, you mean 2 items in one gold star box?
Only 1 gold star box?
No. You've got your gold star boxes are housing and utilities, furnishings, food, transportation, clothing, and water. So you have to pick something out of each one of those boxes, okay? And then your group or your family has to decide how else you're going to spend the rest of those beans. Yes.
Is every box a bean?
Every box represents a bean. That's a great question. Yeah. So if you looked under housing with utilities, it costs 2 beans to live with relatives sharing costs of utilities. No phone. 3 beans would be to share an apartment or house with others because it's going to be a little more expensive, right? Not to live with your relatives. And then 4 beans is you renting on your own, and that includes basic utilities. Make sense? All right.
Are there 2 pages there?
There are 2 pages. The other one is, where's the other one?
Probably down there.
Okay, all right. So go for it, you guys. You're going to have about 15 minutes to decide how you're going to spend your beans. All right. So managing money means making some choices, just like the choices you made with your jelly beans, your money, right? So this game is supposed to help you decide what's important to you. So what I'd like to do now is just really briefly, if I'm going to hand the microphone to your group, and you're going to tell us where you spent your money. This is briefly, where you spent your money and why. All right? What group wants to go first? Awesome. We've got our 3 Bs. Okay, how'd you spend your beans?
For 4 of our beans, we used it for housing with utilities, and we rented a place of our own. And yeah.
Okay.
And
because you don't want to live with other folks. Okay, go ahead.
and for furnishings, we just borrow from relatives or friends.
Okay.
Yeah. And food, 2 of our beans, we cook at home and dine out once a week. And for 1 of our beans, for transportation, wait. Yeah, we just ride the bus or carpool.
Okay.
And for personal care, just clothing and laundry, we shop for designer clothes.
You shop for designer clothes. Okay, so that's the big one, isn't it, on that one? Yeah, okay, so you're spending 3 beans on that. Okay. Well, all right, so that's great. And you used and everyone's pretty happy with how you spent your money, your beans. Wonderful. Who wants to go next? All right, 3A, coming your way. Again, that was perfect, by the way, just telling us what you spent your money on. All right.
Okay, for transportation, we bought a new car and fuel. For clothing and laundry, we bought at a department store. And for more choices, we bought books and other items.
For food, we are cooking at home. Personal care, basic products, stuff like that. And then for housing and utilities, we are sharing an apartment with someone or house.
Okay.
For clothing and laundry, what do you have this at? Buying at a department store? Oh, okay, you said that, sure. Okay, for the insurance, we're doing basic health coverage. Furnishing, we're buying at a garage sale or thrift shop. And more choices, we're doing books or other items.
For savings, we're doing 5% of income.
Okay, they have savings in their plan. 3B, you didn't have savings in your plan, did you? You guys didn't have savings, right? You did 5% too? Wonderful, okay.
And then for communications, we have a cell phone and high-speed internet.
Okay. So to briefly summarize this, you've got a new car. Sweet. You're saving a little, and where are you living? Okay, and I heard you have a little insurance as well. Cool. All right, who wants to go next? 1A, how did you spend your money briefly?
For food, we're going to cook at home. For transportation, we're buying fuel for family car. And personal care, it's the basic one.
Basic one, where are you living?
Okay, so we're living in our own house, and instead of an apartment. For clothing and laundry, we're just going to wear our present wardrobe and... Is that erased or? No, that's erased. Okay. So for laundry, we're doing our laundry at our parents' house. And yeah. And for insurance, we want complete coverage for our auto insurance and individual health and disability coverage for our health and disability.
Nice. Yeah, it's really for that. It's not to amplify your voice right now. It's for the camera. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to add to your plan?
We're buying gifts occasionally.
Okay. Occasionally.
And we're saving our change in piggy bank.
You're saving your change in piggy bank. Wonderful. Okay. And everybody agree? Everyone in the family agreed with this? All right. Who wants to go next? Sure. 1B. Go for it. Somebody tell me how you spent your money.
All right. So we approach this by kind of doing what relates to us.
Okay.
You know, so
Yeah.
for housing, most are living with relatives, so we did that. And then furnishing, no costs because we're living with relatives. For car, we wanted to do ride a bike, but none of us do that. So buy fuel for family's car.
Okay.
And then some insurance because this is required. Internet and cell phone, so we had to get that one.
Okay.
And 10% savings.
10% savings. Wonderful. Okay. And you do have some personal care, so you don't, you can keep yourself clean. That's good.
Some basics.
Yeah. All right. Wonderful. Everybody agree with that? Who wants to go next? Oh, perfect. Here you go. Okay. How'd you spend your money briefly?
No.
Go for it.
Okay. So for housing with utilities, we're living with our relatives.
Okay.
And so for transportation, we're going to ride a bus or join a carpool.
Okay.
For clothing and laundry, we're buying at a department store. For food, we're going to cook at home and eat dinner out once a week. For gifts, we're going to make our own.
Okay.
For personal care, we're just going to buy basic products like soap and shampoo and stuff. For savings, we're going to use 5% of our income. For furnishings, we're just going to borrow from relatives since we're living there. For communications, we're going to have a cell phone and high-speed internet. For insurance, we're just going to have basic health coverage. For recreation, we're going to go to concerts, have vacations, and spectator sports.
Okay.
And for more choices, we're going to have a new TV, DVD player, and an iPod.
Sure, absolutely. Everybody agree with that? All right, you guys seeing the difference in the way your families decided to spend their money? I think you guys are the last ones, right? You want to grab this? And tell me how you spent your money, family.
Okay, so for our house, we just rented our own place. So we spent a lot of money on that. We just got one cell phone for the entire family. We're saving 10% of our income. We decided to buy new furniture. We got basic health coverage. We cook at home, rarely eat out. And then we got basic products like shampoo and soap and just basic stuff, real basic. And then we buy our stuff at an apartment store. We rent or purchase a washer or dryer. And we bought a used car and fuel.
Okay, so used car. All right, guys, you did a fantastic job. I want you to stay in your seats, okay? You did a fantastic job. Where do your goals and your values come in with how you decided to spend your money? How do goals and values come into play here, guys? Sure.
Well, okay, so if having fun is one of your main goals in life, then you would want all the TV, the iPod, the spectator
Like
sports.
2B over there, right? Okay. All right. So obviously for 2B, You all are wanting to have a good time, right? Yeah. Okay. How else do goals and values play into how you decided to spend your money? Sure, yes.
Well, even if you do like put a lot of money in just like one subject, you do have to consider the basics. Because if you think about it, if you're eating too much food or just having too many communications, you're gonna have a really bad living situation. Like you can live in a hut, but you could have this big giant TV outside.
Right. Or a brand new car. You got, you know, living off your folks.
You need something.
Okay, good. How about you?
We gave up a lot of luxury so we could have insurance. So if we die, we're okay.
Did you really just say that? Did you hear what she said? So if we die, we're okay. Okay. So your relatives or your right would be okay. All right. That's great, actually. Okay, you guys. So values and goals, they absolutely kind of dictate how you spent your beans, right? Awesome. All right. So now you're going to have about 5 minutes or less. If you wouldn't mind listening to this. So, you know what? The income just got cut. Okay? Your income got cut to 13 beans. Okay. What are you going to give up? By the way, if it got cut by 13 beans, how many beans do you have? If you had 20 beans and you got to take away 13, how many should be left? 7 beans. All right. Talk to your families. Make your choices. 7 beans. Okay. Let's go over our results. So remember, at first I said your pay was cut by 13 beans, and then I switched it up because that would have been too hard. So your income actually got cut by 7 beans. Maybe someone lost their job. All right? So now you have 13 beans to choose from. What did you change? What did you guys change?
And we took away savings and more choices and recreations.
Okay, so savings, recreation, and?
More choices.
More choices. Okay, so that was things like your books and the
really
DV, like not the essential stuff. Okay. All right, good. Everybody was okay with that?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right. What did you cut?
We went from renting a place of our own to living with our parents.
Right. Move back home. Here we come, folks. Okay, and that was and then you made some other adjustments along the way? Yeah. Okay. How about you guys? How did you do?
Well,
I'm like right here.
So we decided to get rid of our health coverage and just go with fringe benefits of the job. We now don't have transportation. We're going to walk or bike everywhere.
So that will be
or mooch rides.
Yeah, we're
from
gonna.
the folks.
So because we want to be healthy, because we only have fringe benefits,
Okay.
but we want to keep our high-speed internet, our cell phones, and we want to still go on vacations and to concerts.
Okay, so what are their goals and values?
And now we don't have any gifts, so we're just going to go to birthday parties but not give them any gifts.
Oh, nice. How about you guys? What did you cut?
We cut pretty much everything. We don't have a phone. We just lost that. We don't save anything. We have no furniture.
Guys?
We have no.
You don't have any furniture. What are you going to sit on?
We have no insurance. There's no insurance, no gifts, no transportation, clothing and laundry. There's no care. No more
How's you guys going to live? What are you doing?
We got recreation. We live with our relatives, and we got everything in recreation.
Oh my gosh!
So we're a really free-flowing family, so come and join us for some fun. So we cook at home, we got TV, snacks, and just everything you can think of fun. But yeah.
Yeah, boy. Okay, if you want to, it's the twos that are like all about the party, right? Okay. All right, how about you guys? How did you, oh, look, we've got a little disagreement in the family. What's going on? Okay. Not you? Okay, tell me what's happening.
Okay. For food, we're cooking at home. For cars, like everybody, we're just carpooling. For savings, I wanted to do 10%, but we're doing 5% and investment for retirement. For communications, we're doing cell phones. For housing, we're doing sharing an apartment. Insurance, we're doing fringe benefits of job.
Okay.
And for furnishing, we're borrowing from relatives or friends.
Interesting. You still kept some for savings. Very interesting. Who else needs to go?
We have our own house.
Okay, your own
including
house still.
Basic utilities.
You guys?
We have full health insurance and car insurance. And we have a used car and fuel, and we don't have anything else because we're doing that all by ourselves.
Oh, you guys are independent. So what do you think one of their goals is, guys? To be independent while yours is partying, right? And you're partying as well. You did say, that's right. Did you guys put anything to savings? No. Okay. All right. All right, you guys, I need your attention. I need your attention because we're not done. We're not done. Okay? Got a couple more things. Now, someone in your family broke their leg. If you have insurance, you don't need to do anything. Okay? If you don't, take off 3 beans. All right, everybody. Okay. All right, so hopefully you did that, right? If you had insurance, you were cool. If you didn't, you had to get rid of 3 beans. It can go the other way, too. Okay? Guess what? Your mom just got a raise. Add 2 beans. Add 2 beans. Everybody can say add 2 beans. What are you going to do now? Okay, if you all go back to your own seat. Oh, wait, no, stay with your family because we're almost done. Stay with your family, okay? What I want you to do is I want you to think about a couple of things now, okay, for the next 2 weeks. What was the easiest decision you had to make on how you're going to use your beans? What was the hardest? What was the hardest? What to take away. That's a good lesson right there. Did you hear that? What to take away. We're going to talk more about how hard it is to take things away and how easy it is to add it back, right? So what was the hardest? What was the easiest? And how did your family make decisions? Was there one person making the decision and the rest of you going, okay, that sounds good? Or was there a debate? That's what I want you to think about. Yeah. Yeah.
Like we, I mean, I want to spend money on fuel or riding a bus, but like walking or riding a bike is like, yeah.
It's healthier. So now you don't need as much health. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, you guys have been great. If you really want to, you can have the jelly beans, but keep in mind everyone's touched them, so you might want to just leave them there. I hope to see you in 2 weeks. We're going to pick it up with budgeting and how we make our choices. You guys are great. Thank you so much.